And welcome to the University of Tampa watching this athletic center, the place match between the Emmanuel Lions and the Findlay Oilers. Here are tonight's highlights, beginning with the Findlay Oilers. First, the Oilers reserves. Number 1, Reagan United. Number 2, Reagan Bryce. Number 3, Victoria Mesher. Number 4, Grace Howard. Number 6, Olivia Hughes. Number 10, Zoe Megathus. Number 12, Logan Powell. Number 14, Number 18, John Williams. Number 19, Stephanie Smith. Number 22, Cecily Hunt. And Spartans, a senior from Maurice, Ohio. Number 7, Elaine Coleman. A senior from St. Wisconsin. Number 8, Lauren Foster. A senior from Tiffin, Ohio. Number 9, White. A junior from Forsyth, Ohio. Number 11, Kristen Conlon. A junior from Alabama, Ohio. Number 13, Maya Alabama. A junior from Tiffin, Ohio. Number 15, Anna Bennett. A junior from Vero Street, Illinois. Number 16, Abria Gomez. And a grad student from Rainbow, Ohio. Number 21, Kenneth Butcher. The Oilers are coached by Rick Coleman, assistant by Mike Cullen, and Scott Ward. But it would be amazing when University of Lions first aligned reserves. 3, Faith Kevin. Number 4, Evan Parker. Number 9, Kevin Pritchard. Number 12, Evan Wilson. Number 13, Evan Lee. Number 15, Brooke Lee. Number 16, Isabella Bay. Number 18, Chantal Esparza. Number 24, Mary Herrera. And starters, a senior from Stockbridge, Georgia. Number 1, Asia Queen. A sophomore from Bishop, Georgia. Number 7, Isabella Miller. A junior from Jacksonville, Florida. Number 11, Ellie Jackson. A sophomore from Taiwan, Georgia. Number 14, Sky Grant. A junior from Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. Number 20, Brianna Bigger. A freshman from Maryland, Pennsylvania. Number 21, Marissa Hosea. And a sophomore from Findlay, North Carolina. Number 22, Saley Denver. And Georgia Lions is criminal assisted by David Gordon and Kevin Kerr. And now let's play ball.
And a good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We bid your greetings inside the Martinez Center as we get started for this year's Tampa Volleyball Classic. 2 conference champions set to do battle on this Friday afternoon. It is the Findlay Oilers, the preseason number 24 ranked team in the nation, taking on the defending Conference Carolina regular season champions, the Emmanuel Lions. Good afternoon, everyone. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network and TampaSpartans.com. Findlay and Emmanuel set to do battle here. It will be a very fascinating matchup between two teams who had great success in 2024 and will look to build off of that momentum in 2025. For Emmanuel, they're led by Ellie Jackson, the reigning Conference Carolinas Player of the Year, had over 400 kills 1 year ago. The redshirt junior from Jacksonville, Florida, will look to duplicate those numbers for a very talented Emmanuel team. And for Findlay, they're paced by the outstanding setter, Emma White. All she did last year was be 6th in the nation in assists, led the GMAC in assists per game, and was the GMAC tournament MVP as she led the Oilers to the GMAC tournament championship and a trip to the NCAA Sweet 16. Two veteran teams, 2 veteran coaches on the sidelines for Findlay, and starting his 28th season leading the program with Kogelhoff in his 31st season overall as a head coach. And for Emmanuel, their director of volleyball in his 3rd full season in that role, James Friedel. He's in his 6th season leading the women's program. Emmanuel will serve, wearing the white, Findlay with the black and the orange. Off hit on that first swing by Emmanuel, a nice set attack, but the pancake dig, the right hand got there just a little bit late. The first one of the season belongs to the freshman setter, Marusa Hasic out of Slovenia. Sammy Gamble, the sophomore, serving for Emmanuel. And Belcher gets that one over. There'll be a point and a side up for Findlay. You see our first substitution for Emmanuel. Caitlin Pritchard, 6-foot opposite hitter, will see her first action. Just on the way here in Tampa, Florida. Pritchard gets blocked, and that's again the freshman, Pasit. Right on that antenna, gets the side up for Emmanuel. Allow Faith Kelly, the redshirt sophomore, to check in. 6'1" from Ponce Inlet, Florida. Percent will serve. 2-1 lead for Emmanuel early on in this opening set of the 2025 season. On the outside, big time block by the Lions. Finley stays with it, and that one just sneaks in. Put that one down to Lauren Forrester. 5'10" senior from Salem, Wisconsin. McKenna Belcher to serve. Transfer from Ashland from Marengo, Ohio. And that first swing from Ellie Jackson, one of many for the reigning Conference Carolinas Player of the Year. And O.B. Jackson on to serve. Jackson last season, 406 kills, averaged 3 3/4 kills per set en route to winning Player of the Year in the league. And that one slips through the block. And Oilers tied up at 3 apiece. Team seesaw in points the first 6 points of this game. Kirsten Baumholt serving. And we had 2 players dressed in the defensive specialist position. That's going to be a service air. Now let's see Maya Ellerbrock, the other defensive specialist or libero, on the floor for Findlay. So you go to liberos, Asia Queen, the libero for Emmanuel with the line drive swing. Activity, gonna say that one, it just goes out. Good attack by Hannah Miller, but just sailed a touch long, 5-3. Emmanuel getting back-to-back points. Queen starts the offense. Nice pass to Faith Kelly. And that one pops it over. They were expecting the power, and they got the finesse instead. 3 straight points for the Lions. 6-3 Emmanuel in his first set of the Tampa Volleyball Classic. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us on this Friday. Defense has been crisp for Emmanuel so far in this opening set. And expanded right there on the block. And a little out of system on this long rally. That quick set read nicely by Queen, but a second touch dumped back over by Alana Pullman, the senior from Maria Stein, Ohio. Gets a much needed side out for Findlay. And that one sails over the left shoulder of Sky Graham, but that'll be a service air. Isabella Miller will come on. She will serve for Emmanuel. So the starters for Emmanuel, Queen, Miller, Jackson, Graham, Bigelow, Passot, and Gamble. Those are the starters for Emmanuel. Push shot, good job by Jackson, hustling over towards her bench to keep that one alive. And that one sails on the outside of the antenna. Good idea from Graham. Couldn't execute it with the tough angle, trying to go around the pin. 7-5 Emmanuel. Oilers still looking for back-to-back points. And another service air for Findlay. The service game has been a bugaboo for the number 24 ranked Oilers. 3 of the 8 Findlay points they have gotten in this opening set have been by way of the service air. And Emmanuel gives it right back. The serve-receive game will be something both coaches will be stressing when we have our first stoppage of play. Oilers down a pair. And that'll be down a 3 spot. Caitlin Pritchard with the frozen rope gets the side out and gets the substitution for Emmanuel. Sammy Gamble back on to serve. Gamble, a sophomore from Hickory, North Carolina. Sit on the outside, through the block on a good swing from Belcher. Right back over to Ellie Jackson. 10-6 Emmanuel. Jackson showing you why she was named All-Region last year. And of course, the Conference Carolinas Player of the Year. And another service air. Opening game of the season. Service game not as clean or as crisp as neither side would like. And Razip on cue. The service air. And that's going to warrant a timeout for Findlay. The service game will be the point of emphasis in this timeout. Emmanuel up 11-7. We'll come right back after this.
No, that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating. And verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit. Act with respect and be officially human.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams, discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Back in the Martinez Center, Victor Anderson with you. 11-7 Emmanuel with the lead over Findlay as we start off the first of our 6 games this weekend in the Tampa Volleyball Classic. The service game has been the key in this first set. Findlay with at least 5 service airs so far. We'll get you updated stats when we have them available. And Emmanuel has been the benefactor of those mistakes. And that one's going to sail a little bit wide on that second touch. So Findlay gets the first point off the timeout. McKenna Belcher on the serve. See if that tough from their long-tenured head coach, Volkenshoff, helps. And certainly up there, that big-time block, right up the middle. Bria Lomax, the 6-foot middle hitter, blowing the boom on that block in the middle. Findlay 2-0 after the timeout, and the service game rears its ugly head once again. Side out for Emmanuel. Ellie Jackson on the serve. Miscommunication from Findlay. They got to send a free ball back to the Lions. Trying to take this back to a 4-point lead. Great job right behind the 10-foot line by Belcher. On the outside, and good defense again by the Oilers. Out of system. They looked at a call on net violation. It'll be on Alana Pullman. Grazed that elbow along the front of the net. So after conceding the first 2 points off the timeout, Emmanuel has scored back-to-back points, and the long tenure veteran not too pleased with his team's defensive lapse. Will get a smile on his face after that swing from Lomax. 13-10 Emmanuel. Findlay with the service. I mean, it's the first early season jitters for everybody. It says Brock to soft the junior. Nice feed. Jackson somehow worked that through the block. Findlay keeps it alive. The dances on the net. Queen gets rejected, but stays with Emmanuel. Work by Asia Queen, back to Jax. Another net violation, again whistled on Pullman. They've been going after the senior those last few plays for Coach Friedel and his Lions. Emmanuel up 14-10, equaling their largest lead in this set. Big block, that one will go out of bounds. Good work tooling that off the block. As Hannah Miller gets at the block, side out for Findlay. Grace Auer, the 6-foot sophomore, on the floor for the Oilers. Tough serve, that one did not stay in. Great job on that serve by Auer. Forcing Emmanuel to scramble after that tough first touch. And all of a sudden it's 14-12. Findlay has not led in this first set. And the reason why was this on explained once again. Now we'll allow with the side out, Isabel Miller to check back on the court and will serve. Somehow they got back over on that second touch. Jackson's attack is partially clipped at the net, and a beautiful slide and an even more pristine kill from Alana Pullman. Findlay has the lead again, back down to 2. It's been getting that lead to 1 and trying to tie the set that has been that mountain that they have not climbed as of yet. Great job in that middle attack. Jackson. Oilers staying with it. Jackson snuck that hand back in the last second to avoid that touch. And again, Emmanuel gets this side out and keeps Findlay at arm's length. 16-13, Sky Graham serves. Sophomore from Tyrone, Georgia. Overpass, and Jackson will say thank you. Thank you for the overpass. I will happily collect that down. And that'll be the final timeout for Findlay in set number 1. They cut the lead down to 2 several times, but Emmanuel has always had an answer. 17-13 Lions. We'll be back with the remainder of set number 1 after this. Victor Anderson back with you for the Martinez Center. 17-13 Emmanuel. They have forced Findlay to use their second and final timeout in this opening set. It's been a service game and substantial runs that have been the difference for the Lions right now. And getting contributions from players such as Kalen Pritchard. 18-13 Emmanuel. And this is the Emmanuel team last year. Won the Conference Carolinas regular season championship. Went 17-1 in league, and now we have service ace for Sky Graham. And the Lions see that race to 20 right in front of them. Big time tooling off that block. As McKenna Belcher once again side out for Findlay. Oilers need to string at least a 3:04 run right now. Put a little pressure on the Lions. We'll see a late second substitution. Zoya Winklefoos, the junior from Mount Gilead, Ohio, she will serve. And another service error. Sixth service error for Emmanuel in this first set. Dances on the net. Somehow that ball got through. Tough, great save with the left hand by Findlay. Free ball sent back over by Miller. Jackson blocks. Lomax along with Emma Weiss side out for Findlay. Actually, beg your pardon, that's Grace Auer on the block. Jackson had to hesitate for a second before getting that swing across. Crips off the net, that stays in. Give that kill to Hannah Miller. 20-16, and Emmanuel starting to feel a little pressure. Coach Fido not elected to use a timeout as of yet. Jackson trying to push out the antenna, got denied, sent back to Emmanuel's side. And a nice job recovering by Brianna Bigelow. Reading out middle set to Lomax. It'll be a side out for Emmanuel. Hasit to serve. 21-16 Lions closing in on a set one win, and a service error again. Serving 21, and we'll have another substitution. It'll be Cecilia Palm from Tiffin, Ohio. She'll be in for Belcher to serve. Jackson off the block and out of bounds. Point for Emmanuel, 22-17, another kill for Ellie Jackson. That one sails long. Another service error, point for Findlay. 10 service errors combined between the two teams in set number one. 6 for Findlay, 4 for Emmanuel. Made that a 7 service errors for Findlay. Emmanuel 2 points away from taking set 1. Asia Queen Del Ribeiro will serve. Trying to set up in the middle, but that one got read by Pritchard. Jackson digs that one out. Splits it around the outside. And that violation is going to be a point nonetheless for the Oilers. So Grace Auer checks back in and will serve. 23-19. Would not surprise me if Findlay strings together a couple of back-to-back points. Now Emmanuel uses a timeout. We'll see if it gets to that point. Findlay has already used their 2 timeouts in a set. That goes just a touch long, 23-20. Well, we figured we were going to see a timeout early on from Emmanuel. If he gave up 2 points, Coach Riddell says, look, let me take 1 timeout now and keep that second timeout in my back pocket. So we'll take a quick break. Findlay trying to keep things alive as we close out set 1 in a moment. Findlay trying to make a miraculous comeback at the back end of set 1, down 20-23. Victor Anderson back with you. Opening game of the Tampa Volleyball Classic here in the Martinez Center. And again, the service game. At a costly time, set point for Emmanuel. Isabel Miller will check in and will serve. Emmanuel with 4 opportunities to close out this opening set. Off the net. Lions for the set. Oilers scrambling a little bit out of system. Big block by Sky Graham and Caitlin Pritchard. And the Lions put an emphatic bow on a set 1 win, 25-20, as the Lions are able to take advantage of some mistakes from Findlay with the serve-receive game and take the opening set. We'll talk about the set 1 stats and get you set for set number 2 right after this here on TampaSpartans.com and the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Victor Anderson welcoming you back to the Martinez Center for the opening day of action on the Tampa Volleyball Classic. Emmanuel took set number 1, 25-20. Wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing volleyball, but overall Emmanuel was able to execute down the stretch and force Findlay into unclean serve receive play. Emmanuel hit 133. And actually in that first set, Emmanuel actually was out hit by Findlay, 133-115, but 8 service errors from Findlay, 4 for Emmanuel. The Lions have 5 service aces. For Emmanuel, Ellie Jackson had 3 kills. Kaylin Pritchard had 2. Sky Graham had a big block to close out that opening set. For Findlay, Lauren Forrester had 3 kills. Hannah Miller led them with 3 digs, and Abria Lomax had 2 blocks to pace them on the front row. Teams will go back with their starting lineups from set number 1. For Findlay, it will be Forrester, White, Winkelfuss, Barhorse, Ellerbrock, Miller, and Lomax. For Emmanuel, it will be Queen, Miller, Jackson, Graham, Bigelow, Pasal, and Gambill. Findlay will serve to start off set number 2. Overpass, Lomau got saved. As it reflexes from the freshman. Right off the block, back to the Oilers. Long rally to start off set number 2. And Al one gets one on the nice swing off the right hand from Lauren Forrester. Forrester, her 4th kill in this match. Wow, I thought it should have been a 4-hit violation. That'll be Findlay, the recipient of that second point. Saw the Emmanuel bench down below, pulling up the 4s in the air. And not paying homage to the 4 horsemen. That swing a little bit long, a little bit strong from Sky Graham. And the Oilers off to a 3-0 start. And by the way, with Findlay getting that opening point in the second set, it marked the first time the Oilers had a lead at any point in this match. Great effort on the libero, but the effort goes for naught. 4-0. Ellie Jackson set to serve again for Emmanuel. 3-1 your score early in set 2. Emmanuel took the first set 25-20. And Findlay playing like a completely different team that we saw in set 1 as McKenna Belcher makes it 4-1. Belcher out of Sparta Highland by way of Ashland University. Again, Graham, the hitting error, makes it a 4-1 lead. A 5-1 lead for Findlay, excuse me, in set number 2. Again, it's the opening game for everybody, even us here in the our broadcast position. Once wide off the arm of Faith Kelly. So 6-1 Findlay jumping on Emmanuel in set number 2. Oilers showcasing what made them the GMAC tournament champions and the number 24 ranked team in the preseason poll. And a nice middle set to Brianna Bigelow, side out for Emmanuel. Asia Queen, the libero, serving for Emmanuel. Queen had a phenomenal 2024, 463 digs. And that one caught Passett off the shoulder. And Findlay continues to pour it on. 7-2. Little tip, great job. Findlay jumps on it quickly, goes on the backside. It's going wide and almost a collision. Slight collision between Ellerbrock and Forrester. Fortunately, they're all right. They're gonna check on Forrester, making sure she's all right. She's gonna need a moment. 7 out of 10 saying, "Oh, you good?" Yeah, we're good. Isabel Miller serves. Emmanuel down 3-7, set 2. Graham works it through the block. And a Miller, and a great job by Alana Pullman. Makes it 8-3 Findlay. Findlay in set 2 hitting a robust 300, 364 now after that Pullman tally. Now into the net, point for Findlay, makes it 9-3. Coach Friedell's seen enough, he will take a timeout. They're checking on Lauren Forrester down on the training table. We'll see if we get an update from her when we come back. 9-3 Findlay here on TampaSpartans.com. Nine-3 Findlay in set number 2, trying to even up this season opening match against the Conference Carolina regular season champion, Emmanuel Lions. Victor Anderson back with you here from the Martinez Center. Grace Hours serves. Nice block along the antenna. Sliding it through, and that connection that won him a conference title last year. Wide to Pullman, works again. 10 serving 3. A complete 180 for what we saw from Findlay in set number 1. Sky Queen got it off the right hand of Alana Pullman, and Sky Graham gets the much needed side out for Emmanuel. And that one finds its way through, and guess who? Alana Pullman once again. 11-4 Findlay. Findlay in the second set, dominant, 417 the hitting percentage. Now 462 after that Pullman kill. They have 7 kills in the second set. Emmanuel as a team has 9 for the match. And we'll add to that tally with the swing off the arm of Isabel Miller, side out. Sammy Gamble back to serve as she comes on. Actually, Caitlin Pritchard was given that last kill. I meant to say Pritchard, and well, we know who we meant to say there, McKenna Belcher. Belcher raised that one up. Gets the Findlay side out. We'll see Zoya Winkelfuss check back on and will serve. Forrester on the bench, still being consoled by her teammates. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Through the block and another swing by McKenna Belcher. Finds some space between that attempted stuff on the antenna for Emmanuel. 13-5. Ellie Jackson has been quiet in this second set. 14-5, and now get assistant coach David Gordon off the bench as Coach Friedel and Kennedy Kerr trying to find answers for all these questions. And that will make it 15-5. So Findlay well on their way as of right now to squaring up this match. And the service air. And again, the reason why Findlay has been off to a great start in the second set, not only the cleaner and more efficient offense, but the service game, much improved. That was the first service error for Findlay after having 8 in set 1. Serving and receiving, coaches always say, is an underrated part of this game. And having a point guard like Emma White doesn't hurt either. Sets up for Belcher, gets the kill, 16-6. Ace Hour on the floor will serve. And that's will be a service ace. That's Emma White, the GMAC tournament MVP, and Findlay will use their second and final timeout. All Findlay all the time in set number 2. The Oilers are cruising their way to set 2 triumph, but we come back. 17-6 Findlay as they are rolling through in the second set over Emmanuel. Victor Anderson back with you. Set 2, match 1 of the Tampa Volleyball Classic. And what is an exciting day coming up. And Jackson gets her first kill of set number 2 for the Conference Carolinas Player of the Year from a year ago, Ellie Jackson. And it's been the McKenna Belcher show. That's just Abe Kelly with the kill, excuse me. That is Belcher with the kill. We were stand corrected. And that one sneaks inside the corner. Side out for Emmanuel. They'll bring a chance for Asia Queen to serve. And again, another one off the block. This time it's Hannah Miller. We'll see Alana Pullman re-enter the match. Lila Ellerbrock serves. 19 serving 8. Findlay 6 points away from turning this best of 5 into a best of 3. And again, through the Emmanuel block. It's been that kind of afternoon as to the second set for Findlay. Anything through the block of Emmanuel, they have found that little slice of space in between those outstretched arms of the Lions front row. And that's going to be a lip violation. Easy call there. When you get a swing right back to your face that quickly, you ain't got much time to recover and be in a proper position. Lions down a plenty and add one more to that tally. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're wondering for Lauren Forster, her swing and her leg are just fine. Thank you for asking. It's 21-9. Service air and a swing from Grace Auer. Sky serve. Palm hold out for Elderbrock. And since it involves substitutions of all the liberos, that will not count as a substitution. And ooh. Nope. So yeah, that one did catch the corner. The officials ruled it out, but they quickly changed it to the correct call, which was right on the corner. Much to the bewilderment of Coach Kolchagov. Nice work on that slide by the 6-foot junior Caitlin Pritchard. Pritchard had to kill to end set 1 and give Emmanuel the 25-20 win. Lions trying to claw their way back 1 point at a time. off the net. And that one just hit the court before that right hand of Asia Queen could be in position for the pancake dig, where it bounces off the back of the palm. I actually saw some of the Findlay defensive specialists work on that earlier during the pregame warm-up. Hannah Miller serving. Lines of Emmanuel down double digits. Oilers handle out of system and they take advantage. Push it to the corner, force the issue to the sophomore Sky Graham. And Findlay well en route to closing out set 2. Emmanuel never led. Emmanuel never trailed in set number 1. Findlay looking to flip the script on them in set number 2. Ew. One right to the right side of the face of Grace Auer. Good shot by Ellie Jackson. 13 serving 23. And that one just clips inside the line. You saw Hannah Miller see that one go at the last minute and say, hey, that's on me. Now that one's gonna sail out. Miller cleanly receives that serve. Another nice block, but stays with the Oilers. Going back on the outside. Belcher has been a machine in this second set. Back to Jackson, rolling off the block. And again through the block, almost a lift against Emmanuel. And the long round, it continues. With a no-look set, a lovely piece of timing by Marusa Pasit. And it's what was a 12-point lead has now been cut to 8. And a service ace. Findlay taking the foot off the gas just a touch. And you see Coach Wick off his comfortable seats here at the Martinez Center. Trying to catch Findlay off guard, but their back row was ready for it. And again, tooling it off that block, slamming it home is McKenna Belcher, and the Oilers will have set point on their hands. And it'll be Alana Pullman to do the honors for the Oilers. Set point 24-16. And into the net for the service air. Pasit to serve. Emmanuel is fending off one set point for now. But cannot hold off the second. McKenna Belcher stamps set number 2 with the powerful swing across court. A set dominated by the Oilers as they hit 4:29 in set number 2 and take set 2. 25-17, our best of 5 is now a best of 3. We'll tell you how we got there when we come back to TampaSpartans.com and the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Victor Anderson back with you for the Martinez Center. Emmanuel took the opening set, 25-20. Findlay flipped the script in set number 2, hitting .457 and holding Emmanuel to a .094 hitting percentage, and took set number 2, 25-17. Emmanuel never trailed in set 1. Findlay never trailed in set number 2. For the match, Emmanuel hitting 103, Findlay hitting 308. The service game much cleaner for the Oilers in set number 2, although they did allow 3 service aces late on the back end where the set was pretty much in control. See if it rears up again in set number 3. Emmanuel will have their front row comprised of Ellie Jackson, Rihanna Bigelow, and Marissa Passol. Isabel Miller, Sky Graham, and serving Sammy Gamble to start off the lines in set number 3. Oilers had to scramble off of that serve to start off the third set. Miller finds Lomax, and Lomax gets it home. So for Findlay, they will have on the floor Lauren Forrester, who missed some time during the second set as they collided with a teammate. Along with Lomax, Hannah Miller. Emma White will serve, joined by Holman and one of their 2 liberos, Kristen Bombold. And that one sneaks inside the line, point for Emmanuel, point for Findlay, 2-0. So already, Findlay off to a 2-0 start. We have not had a lead change during a set so far in this match. The team that has scored the first point has led or has been tied for every point in this match. And make that 3-0. Gabriel Lomas snipped out that swing from Sky Graham as if she got a DM letting her know where it was going to be going. And that one caught everyone from Findlay off guard. They froze when Passett dumped it over. And we'll see Natalie Wilson, 6'1" sophomore out of Roswell, Georgia, come on. And that one drops down at the last second in front of the libero, Asia Queen. Side out for Findlay. 4-1 Oilers in set number 3. Holman, Forrester, and Miller each with 5 kills for the Oilers. Pritchard and Jackson, Pace and Emmanuel with 4 kills each. Forrester now with 6 after that last tally. And another Findlay service there. Side out for the Lions. 2 teams preseason favorites to win their respective conferences. Emmanuel, regular season champions from Conference Carolinas. Findlay, the reigning tournament champions from the GMAC. And the Lions get the point back with the service error of their own. Findlay, the preseason favorites in the GMAC North Division. They received 10 of the 13 first place votes. Hillsdale received the other 3. Northwood and Tiffin, the other 2 schools, in a 3-division lead. The north, the south, and the east. And that one drops down and makes it 6-2. Findlay used a 9-3 run to kickstart their set 2 win. On pace to do it here again in set number 3. Natalie Wilson enters the game and provides some juice and some much needed length on that front row for Coach Friedel. His 3rd season as the director of volleyball. He leads all 3 volleyball programs at Emmanuel College. Findlay gets this point back on the side out. Grace Hour back on the floor for placing Forrester. Now will serve. Rams try to straddle the 10-foot line, and the swing went short and into the net. 8-3. Nice shot, popping out, one up. Free ball back over, and sails long. So Emmanuel doesn't have to worry about burning a timeout. It was Wilson's turn in the rotation. We're like, hold on, let's get that substitution of Miller on the floor. So one sophomore replaces another. Off the net, partially blocked. Lions scramble, pop it back over to the Oilers. And beautiful job once again by White, setting up that backside pass to Alana Pullman. 9-4 Findlay. Hannah Miller serving. Hannah Miller on pace for a double-double. 5 kills, 5 digs. Off the block, give the kill to Caitlin Pritchard, and a side out for Emmanuel. Rams serve, low line drive, and that was a line drive, but with a little extra oomph behind that swing from Belcher. Oilers doubling up the Lions. Cecilia Palm will come on to serve for Alana Pullman. Somehow slipped away through the fingertips of Lomax. Give the kill and a point to Jackson. 6 serving 10. Gambill on for service for the Conference Carolina regular season champions from a year ago. And again, Graham trying to push it through right along that attack line and pushes it into the net. Pritchard off for Emmanuel. Winkelsvoos off for Findlay. Off the net, and that ball took a unusual bounce. I don't know if it careened off of Belcher or Lomax, but we know it went down on the Oilers side, and a point for the Lions. 7 serving 11. Set number 3. Now 8-11 thanks to the service ace. Hasid with the service ace. 9th service ace for Emmanuel in this contest. Prepared only 3 for Findlay. Good job by Queen on the swing from Belcher. And Findlay reciprocates in kind by Hannah Miller. And lack of communication cost the Oilers a point. And what was a substantial lead is now down to 2, 11-9. And it gets the point back on the service air. 12-9. Coach Wick trying to confirm who was on serve. And it's going to be Belcher, but instead it will be Winkelfuss to serve. Good job reading that one by Emmanuel. And Jackson got that one off the block of Forrester. And after having a quiet set two, we're starting to see Ellie Jackson emerge in early stages of set number 3. Trying to get that hand out the way at the last minute, but could not. That's the service ace. And it's a 1-point game in this third set. Saw Ellerbrock try to pull her hand away at the last second, but was not successful in that attempt. Lomax was successful in that attempt. We'll see the other little barrel, Kirsten Baumholt. Baumholt from Versailles, Ohio. Going right at that middle. Another collision to the body Oilers involving one of their liberos. Oilers able to get it back over, staying in system for the time being. Graham off the block, somehow got dug out by, I don't know how Emma White got there, but Hannah Miller is able to capitalize, and Findlay wins the long rally. Oilers up by 3, 14-11, tying at a set apiece in his season opener for both teams. Emmanuel took set 1, Findlay rallied back to take set 2. That one goes long off the arm of Sky Graham. Where Emma's had trouble finding her groove in this third set. Had a couple swings go into the net, and that one a little bit too strong. Go back in the middle again, snuffed out by the Findlay defense. And Findlay won't get that one over. Great job again. That's the sophomore Natalie Wilson. And when she entered in the game, her and Brianna Bigelow have formed a very formidable 1-2 combination along the front row. Bigelow, 6'1", junior from Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin, and Wilson, also 6'1". She's a sophomore from Roswell, Georgia. Asia Queen will serve it back to Findlay on the service air. Oilers up by 4, 16-12. Victor Anderson here with you. Opening match of the Tampa Volleyball Classic. The host Tampa Spartans will be on the court at 6 o'clock Eastern time. And the first game of the Imperial era, as Tampa will take on Lander, who will also be having their new first-year head coach make her debut. Two veteran coaches doing battle here as James Friedel and his Lions get the point and the much-needed side out. Natalie Wilson with the kill on that one. And that one off the net, it was just enough to mess up the trajectory. Ella Brock there at the last wasn't there on time, and then all of a sudden a 2-point lead once again. And again, when Emmanuel gets close, airs like that allow Findlay to get that service right back. 17-14, Hannah Miller serves. We're back to Belcher, and that one gets blocked. 21 on 21, and the 21 for Emmanuel. Salt, the freshman, wins it. Sky Graham on the service. Lions down 2. 15 serving 17. This time Graham swing stays in. And this time it gets blocked right in the middle. Alana Pullman there. Side out Findlay. And we'll see Cecilia Palm skip on over and will serve in favor of Alana Pullman. Palm has been clean with her serves this afternoon. And that one just clips out of bounds. The swing was there, the line was there, but the ball took the last second curve out of bounds, and I will force an Emmanuel timeout. We will take one with them. Findlay trying to win the race to 20 and take set number 3 in the process. Oilers up by 4 here on TampaSpartans.com at the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
No, that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating, and verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit. Act with respect and be officially human.
Victor Anderson welcoming you back to the Martinez Center. Got a good one going in his opener, the Tampa Volleyball Classic. Set 3, Findlay up 19-15. Each team has taken a set. Emmanuel took the opening set. Findlay responded in set 2. Off the net from Jackson, off the timeout. Got Findlay rattled a little bit on the back row on that swing. And over back to Jackson. This time it is a little bit long. No touch on the Oilers. Point for Findlay, 20-15 as they win the aforementioned race. Cecilia Palm still on serve. Now one splits on the back corner by Caitlin Pritchard. Side out for Emmanuel. Give themselves a chance to get Sammy Gamble back on. Tight pass on the net. Swing was a little hard, but they say it was a net violation. Yeah, they said it was on Passett. Whistle for the infraction. So that was a big point swing. Could have been 20-17. The Lions getting some momentum back. But instead it's 21-16. Lions have one timeout left in this third set. Won't have to worry about burning it on another service error. (17 serving 21). The aforementioned freshman Marusa Passett serves. Great job on that pop-up dig by Miller. Jackson rolls it over. Findlay waiting for it. Going on the backside. Tooling off the Jackson block. Point for Findlay. Lauren Forrester had to be taken out briefly in set number 2 as she collided with Baumholz on a play right in front of the net. And has looked solid since re-entering the match. And Findlay has definitely appreciated and utilized her services in this third set in particular. Ball danced along the net, staying on the Oilers' side. Great work on the battle libero, and a lack of communication between Belcher and Forrester gives the Lions the point. Both of them had the same idea, but both of them decided to execute the same idea without telling the other one. Great job by Lomax. She saw the defense retract, anticipating power. She uses the soft touch, a little push, and gets the point. And Findlay now 2 points away from taking a 2-1 lead. Jackson blazes one by the libero, Ellerbrock. And that gets touched. 24-19, set point for Findlay. Grace Auer will check back on to serve for the set. Timeout, Emmanuel. You can't take those timeouts with you. We'll keep it right here for the time being. Findlay 1 point away from taking this third set. Findlay, after hitting 130, they actually out-hit Emmanuel in set 1. But as we have referenced several occasions, the service game was the reason the Oilers lost set number 1. Much better in set 2, hit 457. Fall off the pace a little bit in set 3, only hitting 276. But the important thing, the service game has improved for Findlay in these last few sets. And that's the reason why they find themselves 1 point away from taking a 2-1 lead to open up the Tampa Volleyball Classic. And again, later on tonight, a new era in Tampa Volleyball as Brian Imperial will take over for the legendary Chris Katnack as the Tampa Spartans will take on Lander. First set for 6 o'clock here at the Martinez Center. If you can't join us here, we'll have all the action for you here on TampaSpartans.com as well as the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Opening weekend of the Division II season. has arrived. Set point for Findlay. White trying to get it to Miller to close out the set. Lock, second swing, read nicely by Jackson. We'll roll it over back to the Oilers. They'll go back again to Pullman. That one gets stuffed out by Sky Graham, who sets the pass up in the air. Graham blocked off the fingertips of Passat, and Findlay takes set number 3, 25-19. We still have not had a lead change during the set. The team that has scored the first point of the set has led throughout. Findlay takes set 3, 25-19. We'll tell you how it all happened when we come back to TampaSpartans.com and the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Back here to Martinez Center. Victor Anderson back with you. Tampa Volleyball Classic on to set number 4. Findlay, after falling in set 1, 25-20, have responded in kind, taking the last 2 sets, 25-17, 25-19. For the match, Findlay hitting .289, Emmanuel hitting .089. Diggs, Findlay in favor, 46-36. Blocks in favor of the number 24 Oilers, 5-3. And they have 10 more kills for Emmanuel, 37-27. Findlay coming off one of the best seasons in program history. 24-9, 11-4 in conference. Won that first ever tournament championship in program history. Went to the regional finals before falling to the eventual number 1 team in the nation. And as a result, the Oilers are the preseason favorites in the GMAC North Division in 2025. Lost to Ferris State in 5 sets in the mid-range regional final. And that one pops on through, and that's the first point for Emmanuel. Again, we've only had 3 lead changes all match. All of them have come in the first point of the set. We have not had an actual lead change in the match, during the match, outside of the first point of said set. And we may possibly have that there. Point for Findlay. Hannah Belcher to serve. Tough receive out the palms of Isabel Miller. That's going to go through the block. The official said point for Findlay. It did go out of bounds, but it was a touch. So we do have our first in-match lead change. Findlay up 2-1. Another tough serve. Dumping it right over and saying thank you very much is Hannah Miller. 3-1 Oilers. Remember, Findlay got off to strong starts in set number 2 when they went on to a 9-3 run to start the set. Went on an 8-4 run to start set number 3 and took that third set 25-19. A lot of expectation for this Oiler Ball Club. Of course, fresh off that historic run they made last year, winning the GMAC tournament title, sweeping Ohio Dominican in the final. And a big point for Caitlin Pritchard to get the service back to the Lions. Of course, we referenced Emmanuel last year, Conference Carolina's regular season champions for the first time ever. Got a bye to the semifinal when he got knocked off by Converse. Trying to finish the job in 2025. Point for the Oilers. Ella Brock to serve. 5'7" junior from Ottawa, Ohio. Great quick set right up the middle. Served it up on a tee and Pullman whacked it off the block. 5-2 Findlay. Oilers using that quick mid-set to pull Emmanuel away. Falls in the corner, side out for Emmanuel. Sammy Gamble will serve. 3 serving 5. Go right back to the middle. Hey, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. White again, the Pullman side out for Emmanuel. See Pritchard come back on and be replaced by the libero, Asia Queen. Grace Hours serves for Findlay. That one clips the net off the swing from Graham. Had some troubles with that swing in set 3, hit a couple into the net. And that one gets off of the outstretched arm of one of the 2 liberos, Kirsten Baumholtz. The yellow libero, Maya Ellerbrock on the floor. Substitution for Emmanuel will be a set on the floor to serve. 4 serving 6. Emmanuel down in set 4. Down in the match, 2 sets to 1. You talking about finding a nice angle. Did so down the line. Side out for Findlay. Seven serving 4. Jackson has been a non-factor ever since that first set, where she had 3 of her 8 kills. Can she get some help? We're trying to do it herself if possible. And right back, and Emmanuel wins the long point. Give that one to Natalie Wilson. Jackson to serve. And to the net was Cochran with some friendly fire. Side out for Findlay. And we'll see our first look at Olivia Pierce, 5'6" senior from Matawan, Michigan. She comes on and will serve in set 4, team up 3. Just sails over Graham. Had to move that left shoulder out of the way at the last second. Asia Queen Olivero for Emmanuel on service. Back to Belcher, works it through the block. They went to that a lot in set number 2. That set on the outside of Belcher, and she slams it home through the double block. They go back to it again, they get the point. 9 serving 6. And that one sneaks in. Graham avoided the ball hitting her. Moved out of the way this time, thought it was going out, and instead it stays in. 10-6 Findlay. And that one right at the libero, Ellerbrock. No, actually not. That's a bum hole. Ellerbrock now in. Natalie Wilson with the big time swing. Point for Emmanuel. That one goes long. Saw Wilson, saw Miller precariously along that line. Belcher to serve. Findlay back up 4. And they work it through, and once again, as Lauren Forrester, a well-rounded attack for Findlay. Well-rounded attack for Findlay in this match right now. 5 different players with at least 5 kills. They've been strong, they've been balanced, and we have a setter like Emma White. Gets everybody involved. Lean and Jackson nearly collide, and might have ended up costing them, being a little bit out of system. As Zolmaz takes advantage, going right after the libero Asia Queen. Timeout, James Friedel and Emmanuel. Findlay starting to pull away in this 4th set. Oilers by 6 when we come back on TampaSpartans.com.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
13-7 Findlay as the Oilers look to start off their season with the W in the Sunshine State. Victor Anderson back with you as part of the Tampa Volleyball Classic. And a Belcher to serve off the timeout. Free ball back over to the Oilers. Tips it back. Joust stays over with the Lions side. And that one pokes on through past Belcher as Caitlin Pritchard getting a point for the Lions. Pritchard, Purcell, Jackson, Miller, Queen, and Graham, the 6 on the floor for Emmanuel. We'll give it the Findlay 6 after the service air. Lomax, Miller, White. Now it will be Holman and their libero, Kirsten Baumholt, on the floor. Baumholt to serve. Oilers back up 6, 14-8. And gives it right back with the service there. Now allow Emmanuel a chance to put back in Brianna Bigelow and Sammy Gamble. Gamble to be on service for the Lions. Great pass, great swing, point for Findlay. White, Forrester, side out. Grace Auer back on the floor. She will serve. 15 serving 9 for the number 24 ranked team in the land entering this season. Goes beyond the corner, service there. Overpass and a mad scramble is for naught as Ellerbrock was racing there along with Auer. And the Lions get the point. It's back to a 4-point game. Again with the middle set. Saw a sharp angle by Holman coming right in front of the set from Emma White. And they caught Emmanuel completely off guard. It's those minor adjustments that you see players make and teams make within a set that makes all the difference. And Findlay has made those critical adjustments and find themselves in the proverbial driver's seat, although swings like that from Brianna Bigelow will make it as easy for the defending GMAC tournament champs. Side out for Emmanuel. Ellie Jackson to serve. Jackson 9 kills, 6 digs. And again, they go on that slide towards the pin. And works one more time. Emma White to Alana Holman. Holman will come out, get some fives from the Brain Trust and her teammates. Cecilia Palm to serve. 17-12. Findlay sets up the offense off the net. The Queen right there for Emmanuel. Block stays with the Lions, packed over on the second touch. They go back to that middle set. Jackson ready for that side. And how about that swing from Sky Graham? Graham has been trying to find any sort of flow or rhythm during this match. That's only her 3rd kill all day. It comes at a pivotal point. Her team down 4 points. Queen on serve. Nice block by the Lions, and they'll get the point. As no communication after that block had the Oilers in scramble mode. And the Lions with some momentum. Pushed back over by Graham on the free ball. And how about Sky Graham? Wow. 15-17. That Lion bench ecstatic. And again, Graham has been struggling in this match. First she gets the kill on a big time swing, and now she gets the big block along the antenna. Out of bounds, no touch. Point for Emmanuel, timeout. Taken by Findlay. Lions are not going down without a fight. 17-16 Findlay. We'll be right back after this on TampaSpartans.com.
First 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of Scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division.
Back to the Martinez Center, got a thriller in set number 4. Mayo once trailed by 5. They have cut it down to 1 and is now back to 2 after that swing from McKenna Belcher off the timeout. Victor Anderson with you. First game of the Tampa Volleyball Classic. Findlay up 2-1. Won the last 2 sets after falling in the opening set 25-20. Ace Hour on the serve. Partially clipped at the net. And that big block, combo block, that's Sky Graham and Caitlin Pritchard has Emmanuel again down only 1. Isabel Miller serves. And Ellie Jackson ties it up at 18. Emmanuel trailed 15-9 and now have the lead. No, we're gonna say a net violation. Pritchard grazed the elbow along the net. Findlay was up by 6, 15-9. Emmanuel has outscored them 10-4. And the service there ties it up at 19. (19-19). Good serve by Sky Graham, and again, that quick set. First it was Pullman, now it is Lomax getting involved. Side out for Findlay, and the aforementioned Elena Pullman will check back in. Maya Ellerbrock serves. Graham stays with it for Emmanuel. Findlay looking to take a 2-point lead. And they will. Thanks to Lauren Forrester. 21-19. Each team with one timeout left. Jackson squeezes it through and in front of Belcher, side out Emmanuel. Need a point when you need a point in the most critical time, go to your player of the year. That's exactly what Emmanuel did, and they're rewarded with the side out. Off the block, and another one for Lauren Forrester. Side out for Findlay. 21-19, teams will make respective substitutions. Pritchard for Emmanuel, Howard for Findlay. 22-20. This time that middle set was snuffed out. That's Brianna Bigelow. Findlay went to that middle set one too many times. Bigelow was able to snuff it out. Belcher rolls it over. Graham at the last second had to go for it after the freshman Passett stopped a little short, 23-21. And Emmanuel will use their final timeout. Critical juncture in this match going on right now. And realistically, if you're Emmanuel, you need to get these next 2 points off the timeout. Almost critical. Actually, it is critical. With the game, with this match hanging in the balance, you fouled all the way back down 6, took the lead briefly. Findlay showing great resiliency on their side of things. And now Findlay 2 points away from taking this season opening thriller. About our 2 preseason favorites in their respective conferences. Findlay the favorites in the GMAC North after winning the tournament championship last year and making it to the Midwest Regional Final, falling in 5 sets to the #1 ranked Ferris State Bulldogs. And Emmanuel, the preseason favorite in the Conference Carolinas, winning their first regular season championship in program history last year. They fell in the conference semifinal to Converse after getting a bye into the set semifinal. Graham Jackson, Queen Bigelow, Persall, and Wilson is 6 for Emmanuel. We give it Findlay 6 after the serve from Hannah Miller, which just sails long for the service air. Findlay will counter with Ella Brock Miller, Holman White, Belcher, and Grace Hour. And that one just sails long and is now match point for Findlay. Holman will serve. Match point for the Oilers. Works it through the block. Emmanuel fends off one match point. Thanks to Natalie Wilson, 24-23. Findlay still with one time out of their back pocket, hoping they can keep it in the back pocket and take the W in the other back pocket. Belcher blocked out of bounds, and Findlay hangs on and will take set 4, 25-23, and take the season opening match 3-1. After falling in set 1, 20-25, Findlay battles back and wins the next 3 sets, 25-17, 25-19, 25-23. So both teams with plenty to work on after the season opener, but Findlay will do so a lot more after their opening victory. The GMAC champions saw out the 2025 season on a victorious note. Both teams will be back in action later on tomorrow in the Tampa Volleyball Classic. We have one more game of this opening day in the first game of the Bryant Imperial era for Tampa Volleyball, as they will take on Lander coming up at 6 p.m. For full recap and all live stats and live links, go to TampaSpartans.com and follow Tampa Spartans on all social media platforms. We will talk to you in just over an hour for the start of Tampa Volleyball here at TampaSpartans.com and the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. We will talk to you then. Until that time, I'm Victor Anderson saying so long for the Martinez Center.